Good morning. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Today is Sunday, September 18th, 2022. Just leaving the Woodmere location, and we're heading over to a service call in Cedarhurst, which is part of the 5 towns in Nassau County on Long Island, New York. Customer called last night after the Sabbath. It said, please help tomorrow morning. My first floor air conditioning system is no bueno. So we're gonna go head over there and see what's going on. All right, guys, smash that thumbs up button in advance. I'd really appreciate it. And if maybe you've checked out this channel before and haven't subscribed yet, but if you're watching again, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get going. All right, basement air handler. Okay, Bryant. Looks like we have a hydronic fan coil off a boiler. This is first floor. I have a thermostat, the Nest on. I have it set to 65. It's reading 72 in the house. I have no activity coming from this unit whatsoever. So let's see if we have a switch here. Let's see if I can follow this. Oh, see this Romex goes to another room. Let's see if we can follow that. All right, we have 2 switches here. Okay, we have a filter. There's another Nest thermostat. People love these Nests, I swear, but they're not good. You know, they're just marketed well to the people by the people that own Google Alphabet. All right, so I can tell just by looking at that 3/4 PVC, which is not properly secured, is both units. All right, and it looks like it dumps into a sump pump groundwater system. But I don't see the wire. I don't see a service switch for the system, and that's no good. Oh, here we go. First and basement. See? All right. By the way, day 7. Actually, no. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, we're on day 7. No cigarettes for me. All right, let's take this cover off and see what's going on. All right. Okay. It smells very musty in here, by the way. Very, very musty. See this coil? Okay, see that little black spots over everything? Not too clean. So there's our X13 motor. All right, and I was expecting to see a dead fuse. But look at that. Look what just started to happen just now. I just touched the fuse, this wiring, and then the system decided to come on. Would you look at that? So we have a short somewhere here. And I wonder what the short is. All right, let's take a look at what they did here. It looks like this red and the white wire, I'm gonna guess they lowered it to speed tap 1 on this variable speed ECM motor. All right, that's probably for heat running off an aquastat. All right, because we have that fan coil up here, right, ladies and gentlemen? So here's our voltage coming in. There is our the gray. The gray is, I forget what the gray is. The gray is, let's see. The gray is my green or fan, right? So why they made the gray fan? Well, this is the way Carrier does it. White is for heating circuit, red is 24 volts, brown is common. So they don't really follow, Carrier don't follow, just the traditional wires equals colors chart, but it is what it is. So we know this is our 24 volts, all right? We know the gray is our fan, right? We know the brown is our common, and we have a short here somewhere, and I'm gonna wager it's probably something to do with the connection of this fuse and or nearby, but I wanna, you know what, let's turn this off. Alright, we turned that off, that didn't really do anything, right? Let's turn this one off. There we go. They're reversed. This is first floor. That's basement. Alright, so I just want to turn the power off. And then I want to see if it comes back on. So ladies and gentlemen, when you're troubleshooting electrical shorts, sometimes it's even harder than diagnosing a issue where you can't confirm the problem. Let's say customer has no cooling. You know, when they call to make the service call, you tell them to turn the thermostat off. You get there, and you turn the thermostat on, everything works perfectly fine. It's like, like, now what do I do? But finding this is like trying to find like a needle in a haystack, but you got to be diligent, take your time, and just leave no stone unturned. Worst case scenario, I'll just take some Wagos and we'll clean all this up in there. We'll clean all that up, but now that the system's been off for about 20 seconds, a minute, we're going to turn the switch back on and see if it comes back on voluntarily without me tampering. No human interference. Let's see. I heard condenser. I heard that condenser come on immediately as soon as I applied power. So before I actually took the cover off and we're touching anything, my condenser was not coming on. My Nest thermostat was in fact though powered though. And that may be because of the, could be because we have a fan coil. Let's go look at the thermostat wiring. All right, RC, RH, W, green, no common here. RH and W, RC, Y1, not even a G. All right, we're gonna clean this up. This is RH and W. This is not being utilized. And we only have RC and Y here. Clean this up a little. So I came back down here to start playing with this wiring, not playing with it, but I wanted to identify that green because I wanted to give fan control at the Nest thermostat, you know, and that Nest thermostat, by the way, if you notice, there isn't a common, so it's power stealing. It's stealing from RH or RC, right? Because it needs to charge that battery inside, right? It needs to, it needs 24 volts, so it's a power stealing thermostat. So it's either stealing power from the relay at the boiler or stealing power from here. But nonetheless, I came down here. The thermostat's been off the wall for at least a good 5 minutes, and the system is still running. So I'm going to turn this switch off. Actually, I'm not going to turn the switch off right now. Let's do a little recon work here, right? Thermostat for your equipment may be off. The power for your equipment may be, the power from your equipment to the thermostat may be off. There's no power. Let's just see something here, right? There's no power there. They're both on. There is power. Maybe it's an older era. Let's see. No. Done. F you. F for you. Damn you, Nest. Equipment detected. Done. Okay, so now that was probably an error from when the thermostat was off, right? So let's see if I turn off first floor, no, basement, which we think is that, which we know is this, right? But is it controlling that? That goes off. Okay, let's see. starts and, oh, damn you, time delay. You know what? Let's leave this off for right now, because I am unsure if these are actually labeled correctly. Something's labeled wrong. Either the switches are labeled wrong, or these air handlers are labeled wrong, and I don't know which one it is right now. But right now I do know that the base, the thermostat, Nest thermostat module is connected to the base, and I thought I left it on set to cool, but did not power on yet. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to find the error or the short. See, 65. It's not on. Okay, let's go back. All right, power's applied. We think this is the basement. We think this is the first floor. My condenser is not on. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can find that short. Be very, very quiet. We're hunting wabbit. Be very, very quiet. All right. So right now, me wiggling wires, I have a good fuse, is not doing anything. All right. I'm wiggling. Oh. I heard something just come on. Maybe it was another floor. All right, so now we're gonna do some troubleshooting. Let's get the voltmeter out and see if we have 24 volts where it needs to be. All right, I'm gonna try to show you how I do this while we carefully check there and there. And I have 27 volts, trust me. Let's see if I can prove it to you. Come on, back here. Damn it. One-handedly. This is when I wish I listened to some of you guys and got myself a GoPro, but see, 27 volts. Ooh, ooh, I got a little zap there. Ooh, you got me. I hear, got a little zap there. Ooh, that felt nice. That felt nice. Ooh, see, I got zapped right there. I think our condenser is on right now. Yep. You hear that refrigeration move? Yeah, our coil's nice and cold. Yep. All right, we need to figure out why this fan isn't coming on. Because the condenser and the fan weren't running before. Something's very funky going on here. All right, so it's time to go back to the basics, right? We have this ECM motor, this X13 motor. We need to make sure that if I give it 24 volts, it's gonna power on, right? Because it gets 24 volts for speed control. Yes, it gets 240 volts, but the 24 volts is the control circuitry, which tell it what speed to run on. So let's turn on the power back on here. And I took my gray wire here. Now the gray wire, which we saw earlier on the wiring schematic, right? Thermostat connection, remember? The gray wire is G terminal. G terminal, which we know is fan control. We know that the red wire, which is R, is 24 volts. So if I take my gray wire to the 24 volts, my fan should come on as long as there's no problems with this. Let's do that right now. And I'm just gonna use my hands, my fingers, and touch these two together. Okay, and as you can see, my fan is now running. Capiche? Fan is running. So let's take that back off. Let's do that a few times, right? Because there's a little bit delay on this. So let's let this power off. We're going to turn this back on, and we're going to consistently prove that if my X13 ECM motor gets 24 volts, a signal to turn on, that it turns on. If it doesn't turn on, then we're going to suspect that as a problem, maybe a bad module, or in this case, we'll replace the whole entire blower, not just the module, the motor itself. So let's turn this back on. Okay. Let's go here. And yeah, we have a little bit of vibration there. But she did come on again. So let's try that one more time. And if that works, then we're going to eliminate a fan issue. Power on. Bingo. Okay. So now I'm going to focus on cleaning up these wires, because I do know that when I was first here, touching the wires, you saw it earlier, the condenser came on and the blower came on. So let's focus on that. Let's clean up these wires. Let's use our Wago lever connectors. Clean this up. That way we know I have no problems. Turn power off. Let's get to work. All right, so let me show you what I did for my L1, L2, my 240 volt connections. I have the Wago, the 2 conductor lever, 221 connectors, wire connectors. So there's L1, L2. For red, or 24 volts, I have the 3 conductor Wago. So there's 24 volts coming from the transformer and then going to the thermostat and maybe another, I don't know, boiler, who knows? I don't know. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here this morning because it's only 9:15 Sunday morning, and well, there we go. All right, so let's see what happens. Nada. Nada effing thing. Let's go to the nest. Okay. RC and Y1 we have connected now. Let's see if the air handler's on. Negative. It is not on. Something is loose here. Something is a culprit, and I don't know what it is right now, and I'm going to figure it out because I'm pissed. My condenser is not on, and my blower is not on. Okay, now it's time for a little process of elimination. And as you can see, I'm not taking forever, but it took me about a good 8 minutes to figure out what's going what here. I separated some duct tape from these 2 line sets up there. Yes, duct tape, actual duct tape, D-U-C-T, not D-U-C-K tape, right? Duct tape. Separated that, and I realized that we had we had these 3 wire nut connections. One was going to the other air handler. One was going to this air handler from the condenser. Another one was going to air handler from the condenser, and then we had the thermostat wire there. Then I took my wire going to my my high limit aquastat, strap-on aquastat, right, which was this wire here, and I just put that out of the way, and I saw that the red wire right here went to 24 volts. And the white wire went to speed tapping number 1. And to verify that that was good, I lowered the aquastat to a lower temperature. My fan comes on. Right, so when we have the voltage from the hot water from the boiler circling through here, that'll sense temperature, turn the fan on. So there's no boiler control here whatsoever. So that eliminates this. Now, we have red 24 volts going to this wire right here. This wire we're assuming is going to the thermostat. So let's take off this white wire right here and this red wire right there. Right, that should be going to my thermostat. Right, and remember when I first got here, I was touching everything, and then it all of a sudden came on condenser and fan. So there's something up with this wire. Let's check for continuity first. Touching the wires together proves that the voltmeter is sensing continuity. We're going to take these 2, one right there. Oh, let's try that again, one-handedly. One right there, and the other one right there. As you can see, we have no continuity there. This is our thermostat wire. All right, we know this is our thermostat wire. All right, but it seems to be going towards condenser. It really does seem to be going towards condenser. But this was at brown. See, this is common. That's common. And this is Y going to condenser. See? This is going to condenser. We have Y and common. All right, and we should label these for the next guy, but we'll do that later. But we have no continuity right here. Let's go double check the red and the white wire. Here, we'll check it here. I cut the wire with my needle nose and now I have continuity. See, now I don't. So let's clean this up. All right, so I spliced in some Wagos here to replace those wire nuts. All right, and I still don't have continuity. Right? So let's utilize the green wire since it's not being used, and let's see if we can save the day right now. All right, so now I have the green and the white wire connected. So let's check for continuity downstairs on those. So I'm taking off one of my leads off my multimeter. I'm gonna put it on green and nothing. So now we're gonna take the white and put it on the red here, and let's switch the white to the red wire upstairs and see what happens. Okay, red and green, let's go. Let's see if we hear that multimeter. I don't think it's his lucky day. Nope, today is not his lucky day. That sucks. But it came on before. You know, it came on before and now it's not. And it's upsetting. It's upsetting because this is the wire. It's messed up. Damn it. This is the wire right here. And let's just check this wire, you know, for any loose connections. Let's go right to the source right here. So I also went up there with the red and the green and still nothing. That sucks. So that's the problem. Temporarily, I'm just going to run some wiring from here to just outside, and at least have some cooling up there. Maybe we'll relocate the thermostat. You know what? Just to eliminate the theory that maybe that thermostat is controlling this air handler, just to eliminate that possibility, let's go to this thermostat right there, and let's see if that controls it. Son of a bitch. You can hear this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's our green wire. Son of a bitch. I had a very, very sneaky, funny suspicion that this was the problem here. That they were mismatched, they were labeled wrong because these switches didn't equal what was labeled on the air handlers. And here we are, hunting for a goose, making all this noise. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Ladies and gentlemen, I want your honest opinion. Honest opinion. You saw what I just went through, right? You didn't see on video that the homeowner directed me to this air handler, which was labeled first floor, right? You didn't see that because it wasn't rolling, the camera that is. But you saw the steps I took to figure out what was going on here. And then we figured out, we bypassed the Nest thermostat, we checked for continuity, and then we switched wires, and it still wasn't coming on. I mean, still wasn't, I wasn't satisfied with that answer, right? Because I wanted to give them some comfort cooling, because as you may know, or you didn't hear in the video, that over the next couple of days it's going to be like in the 80s, and you know, we need our comfort cooling, and we do. You know, it's a luxury here in the New York metropolitan Long Island area, especially when you live in service Taj Mahals. How many of you, now keep it real, how many of you would have just given up on this? Not given up on it, but said, hey, you need an electrician to run a new wire from point A to point B. Honestly, let me see a show of hands. And the first one to say, you know, Mike, I would have done the same thing. I would have had him bring an electrician and run a new wire. How many of you would have done that? First one to tell me, actually the first three people to tell me honestly that they would have done that, I am going to send a winter 2022 Pipe Doctor Mikey Pipes long sleeve winter t-shirt to. All All right, it's got the Pipe Doctor full color logo in the front, and Mikey Pipes, if you ain't testing, you're guessing, logo in the back. Full color, at no cost or obligation, anywhere within the 50 United States. All right, the first 3 to tell me they would have walked away, told the homeowner, call an electrician. I got you. All right, it's time for us to switch sides. All right, so I took the cover off what was labeled basement air handler, and I took it off there and I put it over here, and I'm gonna throw my little sticker on there. I spent about, I don't know, at least 40 minutes before I figured out that the long run was controlling the wrong one. So that gets a sticker. Now, let's focus on this one. First, we're gonna take a visual observation. We have lots of growth. We have mold and mildew growing inside of here. See that? Look at all that mold and mildew. It is gross. That is absolutely gross. Okay, so now here we are. You can even see it on the wiring. Look at that. You can even see it on the wiring. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is check to see if we have a blown fuse. And can't tell, but let's see. I don't know. If we ain't testing, you're guessing, right? Let me stop guessing. All right, here we are. I got the red and the gray wire, and we don't have any voltage. Well, let me show you what we have. That's what we have. We have bad motor. See that? Bad motor. That sucks.
I don't remember, and motor was dead. I had to wait like 3 days.
So you say, you just said why you always have to replace motors, but if you replace one motor in 11 years and 3 systems, okay, that's not so bad. But if you replace several motors over the past 11 years since you've been in the house,
that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So the number one reason for continuous or frequent I mean like every several years.
Okay.
You know, a motor should last a lot more than a couple years, or like 5 years, 6 years. It should, right?
Exactly.
But sometimes it just dies prematurely. I've had systems that are 2, 3 years old, and everything's perfect, and it still dies.
I think it was the same zone.
Yes, it's man-made, it's subject to failure at any given time.
Yeah.
But the number one failure let's say you replace this motor 3 times in 11 years,
okay,
there's a problem. And the problem is airflow. Because these motors, if they're not getting enough airflow to it and it can't discharge it fast enough, it's called static pressure.
Right.
And we measure that.
Okay.
Professionals measure that.
Yeah.
Most people don't, but professionals measure
At
it.
the filters.
Not the filter, but at the equipment itself.
Okay, yeah.
You know, before the filter, after the filter, at the equipment itself.
Yeah, okay.
So without complicating things, but if you had to replace motors over and over and over again, you'd be in big trouble because your whole house is finished. The basement is finished. All the ductwork is concealed.
Yeah.
Right? You'd have to drastically change the air distribution system in order to fix static pressure.
Okay.
But that's not the case here. You said to replace one motor, and this motor has never been replaced. But another thing, let me show you downstairs.
Yeah,
another thing I want to show you is what's growing inside these units. No, but the basement system's been replaced once before.
Oh, it has?
That's the one that's been replaced. So I just want to show you this. This is the first floor system. This one was first floor, but now we may have this one. So
this is the first floor.
This is the first floor. But the first thing I always want to point out to you, forget about why I'm here. See all that black stuff?
On the
wiring and on the pan.
Is it just mold? What is that?
Yeah, that's mold, mildew, all that nasty stuff. Perfect, so you need to address that. There's easy ways, but there's more complicated ways, but it has to be cleaned and it has to be treated and it has to go away.
Does it chew through the wires? Or like...
It won't chew through the wires, but it's in a cool, damp place and it's subject to growth.
My wife was telling me maybe I should get an humidifier down here.
No, this is for the first floor system. You know.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's only growing because it's
the easiest way to get rid of this permanently is ultraviolet light sterilization.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. All right, so I pulled the whole blower compartment out of here. I spoke to him about the mold and the mildew in here. We're going to follow up later in the week for ultraviolet light sterilization. But in the meantime, I have ECM motor in the truck. All right, there it is, a rescue. All right, a little bit taller than the other one, right? A little bit taller, but nonetheless, we have it in the truck, and we'll be able to fix them and get them up and running shortly. All right, so outside, I took the blower wheel out. I took these 2 screws out here and there. I took the blower out outside, and I cleaned it as best as I can. Not using a pressure washer, and it's much better. It's much better than what it was. It's not 100%, but like I said, it's much better. So I got the blower wheel back into position. I'm going to take off the motor mount off the motor, transfer it over to this one. When I do that, I want to pay close attention to the positioning of this because I don't want to be too high or too deep when I mount the new motor to the blower wheel assembly. One hand is not going to work, obviously. Don't. Okay. All right, so my new motor is in. I was contemplating cutting down the shaft, but I'm going to leave it. Or else I think I'll get the shaft blaster. Yeah, let's get the shaft blaster. Did you really think I was not going to cut that end of that shaft off? I got the Subco shaft blaster. Of course I'm going to cut it off. Duh. There it is. The shaft blaster. Okay. Nice clean cut there. A little bit of annoying. I can't do it one-handedly. I gotta hold the fan squirrel cage. You know, the hamster cage for moving around, but not bad. All right, and yes, it's not 100%, but it's a lot better than when it was. So go kick rocks and play in traffic. Trolls. All right, there's one thing that I forgot to pay attention to. And don't forget, a good technician is observant of his surroundings. When I go to slide this bad boy in, right, I got to plug in my wires, and my harness is not there. So now I got to unbolt it and move it over. In there, baby. Come on, get in there. Perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna resecure the screws back to the system, making sure I reattach ground. Let's get you right there. Right there. And of course I lost a screw, but we have some more down there. Let's get ground on there. Oh, runaway wire. It wrapped around the whole thing. Come on. Get in there, baby. No, you are not cooperating today. Mother effer. Mother effer. There it is. I'm gonna put my ground right there. Easy. All right, so earlier I took a picture and I labeled my wires, right? So 1 was the small white wire for heating, 2 was the blue, 4 was the white wire. So put these wires back on like that. Okay, they're all nice and snug. So the only thing left to do now is to restore power. There's power, and we're gonna see what happens. And there we have it. We have a blower motor. See that? Beautiful. 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 All right, so you think the job is done, right? Nope. It is 10 to 11. Been here since like 8:40 in the morning. My first floor air handler has now been properly identified. Made the homeowner aware of that as well. And my blower is on. My thermostat's calling for cooling, but my outdoor unit isn't running. All right, basement, first floor, second floor. Let's put our bag right there. Oh, you can hear it. Hear that contactor pulled in? Contactor's pulled in, and I checked all the breakers, and they're all on, so let's go see what's going on inside this bad boy. By the way, who uses paper stickers? Look at this, paper stickers, really? No wire hangers. All right. contact is pulled in, as you can see. Right? But no action with the Titan Pro here. Wow. Talk about being lazy. Damn. Damn. Don't be lazy, guys. Come on. Get some band on. Do it the right way. Oh, look at that. We have power. Motor's hot as fuck. What the hell's up with this? Yo. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my god, look, it doesn't shut the fuck up. Stop it! Thank God. Alright. She finally shut the front door. So we got no power there now, see? No power. Let's test this capacitor. Let's test the capacitor. Okay. What do you think? Think she's no bueno? Let's find out. 45.5 Titan Pro. Made in China. Alright, so I'll have one lead on common, the other one Herm. I get bupkis. One lead on common, the other on fan. I still get bupkis. Get nothing. So let's get another 45.5 capacitor, dual capacitor. So would you look at that? Made in the USA. A 45.5, 370 or 440 dual run capacitor by Amrad. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna orgasm just by looking at it. Oh. So let's take it out of the box and we're gonna show you a couple differences between the Titan Pro and all the other manufacturers and the Amrad. It has what we call a CPT. This is the compressor protector terminal. And what this would get hooked up to, this would get hooked up to your hard start, for example, right? You would hook up your hard start to that. So if the hard start fails, it's gonna save the compressor and tell it not to run. Pretty effing smart. So our middle, we got our common, we have our Herm, and we have our fan. Look at that, Amrad, beautiful. So let's test this, because if we ain't testing, we're guessing, right? I say it all the time, and I generally practice what I preach. Not every single time, but I generally do. And we have a 43.9. Huh. So 1.1 less than its rated value. So let's go to, get in there. Let's go to common. And let's go to fan. Come on, get on there, baby. Get on there. Show me the love. 5.2. All right, and what's really nifty about these, look at this. It was tested with 3.8 at the factory with a fan of 5.2. Actually went up 0.1 microfarads from the factory, right? DF. I wonder if that's the person who checked it. No, DF stands for something else. Guys, let me know what DF stands for. But here it is, 45.5 dual run capacitor. Tits. So we're gonna put this in. I got a piece of band iron. We're gonna secure that inside the electrical compartment, and hopefully this thing will be up and running shortly. All right. There's my new Amrad capacitor. I didn't cut the end off the band iron. As you notice, I had a little bit too much there. But in case this capacitor gets replaced in the next 15, 20 years, because that's probably how long it'll last, as long as the coil's clean. If we need to replace it with a larger diameter one, at least they can reuse the same band iron. But you know, they'll be replacing this condenser before they replace that capacitor. And that's not a shout out to Amrad at all, by the way. I just know they happen to make the best capacitors that we can buy. So let's plug up power and see what happens. Effing amazing. Look at that. Effing amazing. All right, it's 11 o'clock. I've been here for almost 2.5 hours, and we are now almost done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:18 in the morning. I got here around 8:40 Sunday morning. And listen, keeping it real, I wasted a good 40 minutes troubleshooting and diagnosing a potential thermostat and or thermostat wiring failure before realizing that I was working on the wrong system through no fault of my own. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. And I told the homeowner right away, As you saw early in the video, that we identified that there was a potential short in the wiring, and we were working on the wrong system that he directed us to. Mother effer. My effing luck, you know? Come on. Sunday morning. Oh well. Got the motor replaced. Put the Amrad dual capacitor, the 45.5 in there. Got him up and running. And you know what? Build and develop relationships with your clients. If you're a service and repair contractor like my company mostly is, have the parts on the truck. I know it's hard, it's expensive, stocking literally tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff in your truck, but it's well worth it. And if you're selling it for not the right markup of that part, you're not making any money, ladies and gentlemen. You are not Amazon, right? You don't have a brick and mortar store where you can just, you know, pull stuff out of stock and ship it off, you know? You're a mobile warehouse, and having a mobile warehouse comes with a premium, right? Comes with a premium. I could have sold that motor for whatever price I wanted to today. I could have, right? Because he already knows it's not available online based on his last experience, but I had it in the truck. Mic drop. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get post notifications when I drop a video, which is almost on a daily basis. I dropped a video yesterday evening. Unfortunately, there was some processing errors when the video got, you know, processed on my phone, and I don't know, the last 3 minutes of it was just one still clip with just audio playing, so I deleted it. I couldn't find the original, and oh well, it is what it is, but at least I got this one video out to you today, and I'm gonna go run another service call. It's an emergency service call in Lawrence, which is also in the 5 towns, and they have a flooded basement. So maybe I'll make it part of this video, or maybe I won't, but nonetheless, stay tuned, smash the thumbs up button, and be well, God bless, stay safe. Mikey Pipes, signing off.